was calling to let you know that sound check is at 8:30. Practicing nepotism.
Fuck them shit we did.
See, I get nervous on camera.
One more time.
Happy New Year! Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Connect with Lo, and on this channel we talk about partying and getting shit done. Today I want to talk about 2020 and how it was for me and what we're gonna do new in 2021. So 2020 was a roller coaster of a year. It started out beautifully. I had mapped out my vision board. I said I was going to travel. I said I was going to tour for Twerking Tequila. I said I was going to do more in the space of being a manager for artists and things of that nature. And it started out doing just that. We secured about 4 dates for Twerking Tequila. It was 2 in Detroit, 1 in Atlanta, 1 in Chicago, and I was working on more. The Detroit dates would have been my biggest dates, bringing out about 1,000 people. I had rented out St. Andrews, which is a Live Nation venue, so I was very, very excited to, in my opinion, reach a height in my career as a woman selling out a venue with 1,000 people. So that was very, very exciting for me. I want to say that within the first month of 2020, I made that happen. I got the venues. I did all those cool things. And moving forward, I also got a partnership with Bumble. If you're not familiar with Bumble, Bumble is basically a networking, dating, and professional site or app. And you just meet people in your area and you share goals. You can date, whatever works for you. I had became their Detroit ambassador, so I was doing events, and I had done about maybe 2 or 3 events before things got crazy. Also, I was working with the city of Detroit to be their census ambassador and using my network and my influence to make more people within my demographic file and sign up for the census. I do have a video available on my YouTube that talks a little bit about the census, so you can go back and check it out. So that was the first 3 months of my 2020. And then all hell broke loose. And what do we think all hell is? COVID-19, coronavirus.
Breaking news tonight, the urgent new coronavirus warning for young people. The staggering number of hospitalizations for age groups that were believed to be at lower risk.
Detroit, as you may know, has consistently topped case counts in Michigan with nearly 7,500 cases. That's as of today.
Yes, Steve and Sandra, everyone is trying to figure out why the coronavirus is sweeping across the city of Detroit.
So yeah, that happened, and it put all of my goals and all of the things I had been working on hold. The venue of my dreams that I had been working towards getting into, I had to reschedule it, the event a lot of times. My partnership with Bumble kind of got in limbo because I could no longer do events, so we moved into the digital space, and I exercised there for a second, trying out new things and just really not caring for the digital space when it comes to virtual events. But what I did do was work on my personal self. I learned how to garden. I learned how to cook. I learned how to garden. I learned how to do different techniques with cooking. Did some self-help, read some books, did the internal work. I dated. I got a chance to do those things during the first couple months of quarantine. Going into COVID culture, I was very, very nervous because I'm a full-time entrepreneur and I do events, and the event industry was kind of put to an end, and I just didn't know what to do. I had a car note, I had these bills, and I just got nervous and scared and kind of went into this weird, I don't want to say depression, but I got really, really sad. And luckily I did go ahead and file for unemployment, and that did help me get through a couple months of quarantine. My father did end up catching coronavirus. That was very, very scary for me, because when we first started hearing about COVID, I just really didn't think it was anything. I thought it was just as bad as the flu. And I'm like, well, more people are catching the flu every day, so this shouldn't be a really big deal. But when my dad caught it and I saw what it did to him and how he was in the hospital, and he had oxygen and he was very tired and he didn't feel like talking to me, it just felt very weird seeing him like that. And I quickly understood, like, oh, this is no joke. So I definitely started taking it more seriously, staying at home, not going places, not hanging out, not trying to, because I wanted to keep my home safe. I did stay with my mom and my grandmother, and I didn't want to compromise anything that they had going on. Being elderly and possibly sick, I just didn't want to expose them to COVID, and because of my reckless behavior, so I just didn't hang out. Like I said, we garden. Hold on, it's a house phone. All right, we're back. So I picked up gardening. We have a space in our backyard, very large enough for me to make a lot of vegetables. So I garden kale. I sowed seeds for kale, cabbage, spinach, peppers, sunflower seeds. I harvested mammoth sunflowers. I did some herbs, lavender, sage, oregano, and rosemary. I grew tomatoes and green onions, and I want to say that was it. And I definitely enjoyed gardening. It was very, very refreshing to see that you give something some patience, a little bit of love, and put it in the right environment, it will grow. And gardening is something I'll definitely adapt, and I'll keep that skill for the rest of my life. It's something I'm interested in doing forever. So as soon as the season permits, I'm going to garden again. So maybe I'll do some gardening vlogs this year, and stay tuned for that. I'll think about it. Midway through the year, I decided to pick up a job. I have a really good friend who has a food truck, and their speed at work and their business picked up. So I became like their window girl, and I take orders, and I'm that happy face to make sure people are getting their food properly and all of that good stuff. I still help them today. It's actually something I look forward to. It helps me get out of the house and meet new people. So, and I'm learning a new industry. I've dabbled in the food and drink industry for a second when I first came home from college, but now, like, I'm getting more hands-on experience, really learning how things work in that avenue. So who knows what will come with that? Who knows what will come with that? But we'll see. Outside of that, I just stayed at home. Honestly, I didn't do too much. And I appreciate that, because in college and when I got out of college, I've always just kind of been this girl who has worked. What am I doing next? And I got a chance to be still. And it's something that I think we kind of take for granted sometimes. It's like, if we have this space to just relax, why not take advantage of it? And I did it. And I do feel a little bit peaceful. Granted, I do miss work. I miss seeing a whole bunch of people having a good time. But I got a chance to just be still. Moving forward into October, I did attempt to throw another party for Twerking Tequila Halloween. I did this really, really cool massive promo video. It got over 10,000 views the first day I put it out. People were excited. I rented out a very, very nice venue, black owned, perfect lighting. Just it was a beautiful venue. And the day before the event, I ended up having to cancel it. The numbers in Detroit for COVID had spiked again, and new regulations went into effect limiting venues and their capacity. So originally I was supposed to be able to have at least 250 people within the venue, and it went from that to 50 people, and I had a staff of 20, so it just honestly didn't make sense. So it was really, after that I got really bummed and sad about just my career, not knowing what the future holds for that, if I'll ever be able to do what I've always wanted to do. If you know my business, my goal is 20,000 people in one space, and I kind of feel like it's going to be a minute before we get there. I'm trying my hardest not to cry, because I don't want to cry. So yeah, that goal has been pushed back. I don't know when we're gonna be able to get there, but we're gonna get there. It's just gonna take a little longer. But yeah, we'll make it happen when it's time for it to happen. I do feel a little bit faithful now that this vaccine is out for COVID. So far, it's been having decent results with people who have taken it. So I'm hoping that, you know, once that improves and people start getting comfortable getting the vaccine, that we'll be able to get back to life, and I'll be able to do what I know I'm good at. So yeah, that happened in October. And I just got really sad around after that. After I had to cancel my party, I just kind of got into this bed of just being sad. Missing work. I don't want to cry. Just missing work. Missing what was. Missing the life I knew. Missing the life that I had started looking forward to. Ooh. And it feels like just last year, well, in 2019, it felt like things were finally starting to make sense. The career and the work had started to make sense, and I have finally started like reaping the benefits of staying to the course. Ooh. I had just started getting a taste of what working hard for yourself felt like, and in 2020 was just like you gotta go back to the drawing board, and yeah, 2020 made me go back to the drawing board and further evaluate what it is I was supposed to do, and I still don't have that figured out. And then yeah, we moved into December. We're still trying to figure out life, getting kind of sad because Christmas was coming around, and I've always been wanting to treat everybody in my life during Christmas. Ooh, we gotta get it back together. Christmas had came around, and the Christmas season had came around, and just being in a funk about not being able to Hold on, y'all. I gotta get some tissue. Okay. Okay. Whew. So Christmas coming around, and me not being able to treat the people in my life how I would like to, get the things that I wanted to get for my nieces and my nephews and my sisters and my brother and my dad and my mom. It just really put me in a not so bright space. Granted, I was working, but it just is not what I had been used to in terms of income. But just making it work. And then midway through December, a friend of mine last minute asked me to go on a trip. They asked me Thursday night if I wanted to go to Vegas, and Friday morning I was on my way to Vegas. I was hanging out in Vegas. It was finally like a little getaway from just being at home all the time. And I just remember the whole time that Friday night not understanding, like having this feeling of wanting to go back home and really not really understanding why. Because it's like, well, you've been at home. Why do you want to go back home? But just having that feeling in the back of my head, and us still hanging out that Friday night, and the next morning waking up and wanting to go home. It was the first thought that entered my head when I woke up. And no more than 20 minutes after waking up, I got the call from my mother that my grandmother had passed away. And it just made me realize that every feeling you have is valid, and you gotta listen to yourself. So that day I ended up having to go home and realizing that my grandmother was no longer there. Was hard. I'm trying not to cry. I ain't cried in a couple of Mondays, and here I am crying. Coming home and my grandmother wasn't there, and before I left, she had told me that she wanted to come to Vegas with me, and her hair was done, and being herself and smiling. That's the last vision I have of her. Is her happy? Whew. So, looking back on having all this time at home. Me, my mother, and my grandmother, we stay together. Alright, I'm tough. Looking back on how my career kind of came to this halt, and being able to spend a majority of my time with my grandmother, and her telling me about how to cook this and how to garden. Different facts about my family history, where things were in the house. It makes me look back and not have any sadness over the time. it kind of lifted any bad thoughts I had about not being able to work, just being able to spend her last moments with her, and her teaching me life lessons that I'll have for the rest of my life. I'm thankful. I'm thankful that things got taken away from me because I got to spend time with her. And I wasn't going to do this video. I gotta get this cry voice out of me. I wasn't going to do this video because I didn't want to sit here and sell any sort of pain, but it wouldn't be honest of me as a channel whose objective is to show people my journey to getting rich. It wouldn't be fair to show you all the ups and downs of what this journey is like. And I'm not even gonna say that last year was a down year for me. It was just a challenging year, and it was a challenging year, but I got to spend time with the person I've known my whole life before they made their transition to my ancestor. I got to just be around them, keep them comfortable, keep them happy. I never saw my grandmother sick. Her memory was always intact. A couple weeks before she passed, she was outside raking leaves. Had better memory than me. She was the matriarch of my family, and I'm going to miss her so much. But I honestly believe that it was divine timing of her passing. My grandfather passed away December 12th, 2007, and my grandmother passed away December 12th, 2020. So I felt like it was time for her to go home. And so I live every day knowing that, oh, I don't want to be that girl on camera crying. I have lived every day since her passing, knowing that she did everything that she was supposed to do while she was here. She became the wife, she became the mother, she became the source, she became the nurse, she became the person who was an advocate in my community, in my neighborhood. Everybody around here knew who she was. She got acknowledged from our councilman at her funeral. So I don't feel like I don't feel terrible. I miss her a lot. It's weird. I've known my grandmother. I've been around my grandmother all 29 years of my life. Sorry, my camera had cut off on y'all. It was probably time for me to take a break anyway. But like I was saying, I have been around my grandmother all 29 years of my life. I've lived with her a majority of my life. So home is just weird for me now. Not waking up and her cookie, or her not waking up and not selling the coffee that she's making for the day. Her not watching the news. It's just weird for me to poke my head out and she's not sitting in her chair. But I promise to make her proud. For a long time, she did not understand my career, and would tell me, oh, you should go work here and you should go work there and blah blah blah. And me, just like, no, this is what I'm meant to do. I'm gonna do it. And as of late, her being proud of me, just sticking to it, figuring it out, her seeing me bring home income. I started to get articles written about me. She would email it to family members. She would share it with people in the neighborhood. She had started to, feel proud of my accomplishments. So I'm going to continue to make her proud, and I'm going to do what it is destined for me to do. I only see myself working in entertainment in terms of events and artist management. Both of those are kind of in a weird space right now because we can't do large crowds, but I know that one day it'll be back. In the meantime, this year in 2021, we're going to focus on being a creator. We are a creator. I have a camera, multiple cameras. I have 3 cameras. I have a light. I have backdrops. I have a whole setup. I need to utilize these things that I've purchased. So I'm going to work more at being a creator, and using my influence. I'm not going to say, because every year I get on here and I lie and I say that I'm going to upload more on YouTube this year, blah blah blah. I'm not going to get in here and lie and say that, but what I will say is that I'm going to upload more than what I have. I'm going to upload more than what I did last year and maybe the year before. I'm going to do that. The tone for this year is consistency and discipline. I want to eat clean. I want to work out. And I want to do those 2 things. I don't want to eat too crazy. Not stripping myself away of everything that I'm used to, but just eating a little cleaner. We can do that. And just sticking to a morning routine, a night routine, because we gotta, they say that goals come from habit and switching your habit. And I still have goals to reach, but I have to do these things to achieve those goals. And I think that for a long time I was not focused on those things to achieve that goal. So this year is about those things. It's about that work. So that's what I'll be doing. If I'm saying no, it's because I'm focused on getting to that goal. I have to do these things, and that does not fall into these things. And I want people around me to understand that. The goal is to save a certain amount of money. I still want to enjoy my life some type of miraculous way while being in the house probably another year. I still want to enjoy my life. So those are the plans. And that's all I really have for you guys. So please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you later.